1999. Okay, the environment had begun to face some form of pressures. Okay, pressure because, like I said, three shocks, right? The shocks from dropping commodity prices, which resulted in, of course, dropping crude prices, impacting adversely on our reserve. Geopolitical tensions along the trading routes across the world. Then you had the Russia-Ukraine crisis and the Crimea. And of course, even till now, we're seeing geopolitical tensions like between between Saudi Arabia and indeed Iran. All these themselves have some effect on flow of capital between emerging and capital and the developed economies.
But the new administration, I'm sure you will be thinking, hey, am I going to lose my job? Because this is a new president, this is a new administration. So were you scared of losing your job at that point?
Well, the point is that because of the independence of the Central Bank of Nigeria, I was sort of optimistic that because it's a government that we know has a lot of respect for the rule of law, and the fact that there was a specific tenure for the Central Bank of Nigeria governor, that the government would keep to that. And indeed, I must say that that has been the relationship till now, and it's been working very well.
Now, I wanted to ask you, you've worked with the new administration for 2.5 years. So right now we can say you know the president very well, and he knows you very well.
Correct.
So describe your relationship, officially speaking, with this current administration, with the president himself, Muhammadu Buhari.
Well, the president is the leader of the country. He has a vision, and speaking specifically about the aspect of his vision that affects what we do at Central Bank of Nigeria is about the economy. And he set his vision about what he expects of the economy. Unfortunately, he came in at a time when the economy had begun a nosedive. And we were very certain that we were going to work very, very closely to see to it that whatever needed to be done to turn the economy around, that we will do so. And indeed, since that time, the relationship has been very, very cordial. Of course, other than being a leader, he is a father of the nation, an incorruptible leader. And to that extent, he's been able to set vision that we all have been able to key into, not just the monetary authority, but also the fiscal authorities, towards seeing to the fact that we easily come out of the recession that we were. I will use the word we were, because at this time we have actually, I would say substantially, we are out of the recession, and all we can expect at this time is a positive upward trajectory in terms of the growth of the economy.
You outlined a vision. You said that in your earlier comments when you came in June 2014. What's the outline of this? Revisit that for us. Have you kept to that vision? How much of it has been done, and how much of it remains undone? Well,
like I said, we set a vision and make sure that 2 days after we resumed office, that we made the world know what kind of vision we had in mind. Like I said,
did you ever know you were going to become a central bank governor?
Nobody expects those kind of things. I didn't know I was going to be CBN governor.
So while you were sitting down,
sitting tight at a corner, yes. And indeed you would realize that I wasn't one of those names. Mine wasn't one of those names that were in the newspapers about.
Yes, so you were a dark horse. We understand that. Correct. But you had a vision within 2 days, which means you hit the ground running. Which means as a commercial bank chief executive officer, you have your views of the monetary policy and the environment.
Yeah, aside from the fact that as the chief executive of one of the biggest banks in the country, that I had my views, and I have always thought that it was not insurmountable, some of the challenges we were facing. But you'll also recall that between about end of February when I was appointed, and June, I had a lot of time to ruminate over the entire country, the economy, the state of the country, and what we think we should be doing. I mean, Bosin, look at a situation where we're saying today, we're saying even at that time, we're looking at a country whose population was growing at an average of 3% per annum, right? And the rate of unemployment was already high anyway. And we said, if something is not done to ensure that the economy continues on an upward trajectory, at 3% average, by 2020, Bosin, this country will be close to about 200 to 205 million people. By 2050, we will be 450 million people, the third largest the country with the third largest population in the world. Something needed to be done. And we came with a vision to say, look, that we would work in an environment where we would be seen as a people-centered central bank. A people-centered bank in the sense that we will have at the back of our mind in every decision that we take, both at management and at the monetary policy committee level, decisions that will impact positively, directly on the lives of our people. Yes, you will say, as a central bank, what you should be looking at is interest rate, inflation, exchange rate, reserves, and the rest of them. As you take decisions that impact, I use the word positively on reserve, exchange rate stability, on inflation, are you taking decisions that will positively impact the lives of our people? Central Bank of Nigeria, like one of the developing central banks, and luckily by the contents of our act, gives us the power to engage in development finance activities. So, which is really, really appropriate for a developing economic central bank. So we said, with all decisions we will take, if you say you want exchange rate to be stable, you want to build reserve, or you want inflation to be low and not high, how do you go below that and take decisions that people will understand are those decisions that will impact on the lives of the people?
Godwin Emefiele was considered Nigeria's public enemy #1 from 2015 to 2016. He was blamed for virtually everything that went wrong with the economy and the financial markets. Emefiele had literally put the foreign exchange market on fire in 2015 as the naira was adjusted sharply downward from the official 190 to the US dollar. From then on, all hell was let loose. Virtually everyone was calling for the head of the central bank. But Godwin Emefiele stuck to his plans of creating a new and different FX market away from the heavily subsidized FX market of Nigeria's history. It was a great gamble that the central bank chief says it was painful but imperative. In part 2, after the break, we'll revisit the FX market as well as the brutal economic recession of 2016 and how much of fiscal and monetary cooperation was achieved in the management of the economy and the markets. This is the best of Business Morning.